Hi there everyone, it's Tony Paladin, Managing Partner at LCP Global Sports Consulting Group, and today I'd like to discuss the concept of the SPIN approach in marketing. So SPIN is a basic acronym that stands for situation, problem, implications and needs. So fairly simple, and I thought let me unpack it a bit, because as I would reach out to a potential sports property, they would take the same approach in reaching out to a global brand, hopefully with our help. So when it comes down to SPIN, starting off with situation. So it's basically situation questions. What situation basically means is, where are we right now? What is happening at this current moment in time? What's the balance sheet look like? What are the dynamics? Just take a simple snapshot. An example of that would be, I really need to get a sponsor to sponsor me. Or I really have to acquire a partnership with a brand to elevate my brand. Something along those lines. From there we move to problem questions. What problem questions basically are is analyzing the specific problems that at that particular point in time. So once you've outlined the situation, there are inevitably going to be associated problems with that. So an example of problems could be, I'm using a strategy to reach out to global brands, but nothing's biting, nothing's happening, whatever I'm doing is wrong. I'm sending out hundreds of emails and getting no responses, or the sponsors I'm acquiring aren't willing to invest the amounts needed, or the relationships end up being short-lived or event only, and basically nothing's coming together in terms of an overall sponsor that I'm trying to acquire. So moving on from problems is implications. Implication questions. What are the implications of not doing something about solving your problems? So an example of that would be, if I don't acquire a sponsor, or if I can't partner up with a brand, our income is going to drop significantly, and I'm not going to be able to pay my staff, I'm not going to be able to pay for equipment, our marketing budget is going to diminish, and effectively we are going to become a less worthy asset. So you can see, once you've outlined your problem, once you've looked at the implications of not solving your problem, you start to realize that you need to do something about it. And that's where the N of SPIN comes in, is looking at the needs questions. What is needed? So the N is for need payoff. Basically what the need payoff is what solution do I need to implement in order to solve my problem? And that's effectively where the third party or a consultant comes in. So myself as a consultant, speaking to perhaps you as a sports property, would say, look, what if I could give you a solution that, if you invest 10 hours of your time, could make you $10 million. I mean, obviously it's a no-brainer to say yes. So having run through the SPIN acronym, is you can see how you can apply it into the realm of actual sponsorship procurement. So if we were to take SPIN as a sports property and apply it to a global brand that we're approaching, you could position yourself towards them saying, well, hi big global brand, what's your situation at the moment? What's your market share like? Are you growing? Are you shrinking? What's your headcount like? What's the public sentiment all about? From there, you then go to problem questions. So currently, what are your problems? You could say, well, one big problem is that your marketing strategy is perhaps not working. You're spending 10% of your annual budget on things like maybe corporate responsibility, or the wrong sport, or the wrong relationship, and effectively nothing's happening. So there's the problem. When it comes to implications means, well, if you don't do anything about that problem that you've got, what's going to happen? Well, your market share is probably going to drop further, your public sentiment's going to tank, so obviously the implications of not solving that problem are quite significant. And then where the end would come in is, well, need payoff. Let's take myself, being you, as a sports property, and saying, well, look, if you invest in us, we can give you good public sentiment because we've got a really good reputation, and we can give you obviously positive brand visibility and a tangible return on investment because we're getting X 100,000 or million views on social media. So you can kind of see how spin is applicable to solve many relationships. And in effect, with the spin approach to marketing, it's far less aggressive. The spin approach to marketing is actually more about unification as opposed to selfishness. So when you adopt the spin approach and you take that into the formation of a relationship, really you integrate yourself into helping a brand or a company solve their problem, or sports property in my case. Anyway, I hope that makes sense to you, and hope you're well, and chat to you soon. Take care. Cheers.